Good evening, everyone. It is really a pleasure to be with you here tonight because it's been quite a challenge to get here. I've been working in Haiti for the past few months, implementing the Sustainable Commodity Exchange Network, and there's been from everything like political turmoils, street barricades, also earthquake, anything that's happened over the past few months. So it is really truly a pleasure to be here with you all, and I thank you for being here. Also for all the people who are also listening to the conference in Haiti at the moment and in other countries that's been contributing to this work. I thank you all for this. So first of all, I just want to tell you that this presentation is just a previous version of the most recent one that I've made. There was a technical issue with it, so I'll have to skip some slides. So I'll get started right now. Okay, so what is the Sustainable Commodity Exchange Network? So it is pretty much a partnership exchange platform that aims at building the capacity of farming communities through a circular economy and sustainable development practices. At the moment, we're implementing our activities in Haiti, but we're planning to expand in other low-income countries as well. We focus on providing technical support as well as access to major markets, and we provide services, and also we make needs assessments at the local level to ensure that we provide them with all the technical support that they need in these farming communities. What we also do is that we ensure that there's fair trading to strengthen the local economy. At the moment, when we're talking about the local economy, we're talking about the mountains of Jacmel. This is the southeast part of Haiti, where the regions there are quite remote and the infrastructure is quite low. So the implementation we're making right now is actually based on the Sustainable Development Goals framework, which are 17, I'll put them here so you can see. So there are 17 objectives that have been that's been established by the United Nations, and they include tackling issues in development such as poverty, inequality, health, climate change, energy, education, and many more. So our principles and mission are based on helping tackle these issues. Now, as you probably expect, the agriculture is a large subsistence for both the national and the household economy. It represents a great challenge in Haiti because not only because it has a lot of poverty, but the infrastructure is very low, like I mentioned earlier on, and the sustainable economy development strategies are not truly in place at the moment. So despite all the efforts that have been made at the local level from international and national entities, the market in Haiti, the agriculture market, remains quite low in performance, and as well as there's, because of the gaps, the externalities that are persisting. In Haiti, for example, this can be reflected in the life of, you can see 2.5 Haitians are actually live on less than $1.25 per day, and sometimes it's even close to zero. And especially this is predominant in the rural areas, of Haiti. I'm going to go to the next one. So, this is the previous one. Anyways, so I'm going to go straight into this. The slides are kind of backwards. Anyways, so as you can see here, to address these gaps, what we have put together is this network, at which the center you can see is the agricultural associations and communities to whom we're providing the support at different levels. We're providing through partnership with different entities at the international and local level, partners that are providing health services, energy services, education, nutrition, water sanitation, and also finance services. And as we're providing them with these services, the agricultural communities provide us with their commodities, their agricultural commodities and products. And the people that are supporting this system are basically partners like investors, buyers, financial donors, as well as consultants and other agricultural development associations that are found around the world. Sorry, I'm jumping through because just slides are just happening. Okay, so what are the membership? So basically, in order to be part of this network, a membership has to be attained. And what are the benefits of this membership? Basically, other than improved health and energy and all the other services that I've been talking about, there are a higher and more stable revenues that are envisaged for the local communities, and because we are helping them identify different markets at the national and international local markets where they can actually sell all their products. And also, we're providing them with a framework to practice sustainable development. There's pictures I would have shown you, but they're not here at the moment. But there is such a bad degradation of the environment in Haiti. There's a problem of plastic, especially in remote regions as in the cities. And this is something that the awareness needs to be provided to the people at the local level. And the thing is that also because of these plastics and all, we have to implement some strategies to help them use this plastic as well in a profitable way. So I will talk about this in a little bit about that. So the other benefits that we have also is that when there are members, these associations, they receive low cost transactions basically, and that means that they get, I'm going to change this. That means that they get more access to transport and other technologies that they have a lack of at the moment, and also get access to certification of labels, and I will explain that to you in another slide that's going to be coming. Now, to explain a bit more about the Sustainable Commodity Exchange Network, it is a block-based, it's a blockchain-based commodity exchange platform. At its core, you have a database that runs on a distributed network that is for millions of devices that runs together. And the goods and services are traded and stored with reliability and transparency and cost effectiveness. This is a Leapfrog technology, especially in Haiti. And the reason why it is so big is because a lot more and more people are having access to smartphones. And that means that they are able to access the system, the application we're building for them on this. So all the transactions during the tradings that are happening between the services and the goods are recorded in a permanent and temper-proof way. And the candidates are much for the payments basically that are in low infrastructure environments can also benefit from it in different ways. Like Heidi was mentioning earlier on, we have a huge issue in Haiti pertaining to land titles. So this provides a framework to support these kinds of activities, as well as asset certificates for elections, for project and transparency, remittance cost reduction, humanitarian aid, identification, and financial services. We also work on a cloud technology which is running our supply chain logistics through the integration of cost-effective digital freight matching processes. Now, just a second. Okay, here we are. So, although I know that most of you already know how the blockchain works, so I will mention just quickly how, like within our system it works. So a trader requests a transaction from another trader, as you can see, and this transaction is broadcasted to the other person or to the other business. And this transaction is verified and validated using various algorithms. This can be done using a cryptocurrency, which has no physical form and only exists in the network, in this particular network. And its supply and value is only determined by the decentralized network itself. So once it is verified, the transaction is verified, it is combined with other transactions, and a block of data for the blockchain ledger is completed, and this block is added to the existing blockchain in a permanent and unalternated way. And this is how the transactions are completed through the system. Now, the Sustainable Commodity Exchange Network is also a barter-based system, which is one of the oldest forms of commerce, as you would know. So, for example, if you have a farmer who wants to trade some goods or services with another, he can do that within the system without using any cash at all. And so we are using our own cryptocurrency for this, and also we're using system trading dollars. And the reason why we're doing this is because we want to restrict the community and the activities that happen within the network, so that there's more control within the activities that happen, and you can follow much more easier all the activities that are taking place, all the transactions. And we're also using a trading valuator system in order to define what the values are for these transactions through a blockchain consensus and through a goods and service accounting system. Now, we also offer a barter listing and other trading services through that system. So as you can see here, this is only to show you that the barter value units that are depending upon the cost, the efforts, and resources that are used within the system and that are exchanged in the market. Now, this is the slide I want to get to. Now, how the Sustainable Commodity Exchange Network works, you have to imagine that everything that is being discussed here is actually is both on the barter system and on the blockchain system, right? So how we go about the strategy to implement the system is that we conduct membership card registrations to all the farmers. There are altogether about, we have altogether about 28 associations right now, and each of them have about 30 to 500 farms that are actually that are registered with them. So you can imagine how big the work is. So what we have to do, we have to use a selection process to ensure that we prioritize those that have the infrastructure that is most needed, most urgent, that needs to be addressed, the gap that is addressed the most urgently. And especially when it comes to infrastructure, since there's a lot of lack of it, we need to ensure that we provide the right technical support and the tools, machinery, and all of this through doing a capacity needs assessment. Now, once we've done this, once they've been selected, the farms have been selected, because we're doing this in about 5 groups over the next year. So once we have selected the group, we actually look into quality standards. We make sure that the productions that are created are actually standard value, and meaning international levels of value, because we have a unique system through a certification that is international for the quality standards, so we need to ensure that they are aligned with them. So, so basically, after we've done the evaluations, we start collecting the production, basically. collecting all the production from the agricultural farms, and we transport them. Our way of the transportation is also through the supply chain logistics system, which I just talked about earlier on, to ensure that everything is labeled properly and that we collect from the right farms and everything is to the right place. So we also assess based on, in order to do this, in order to collect those products, we ensure that the markets have the demand for it. And so we have people like Natalie McPherson, for example, who is doing the assessment to ensure that we do the market valuation to ensure that we are that we match the demand that is called for internationally and at the local level as well. So through this, we also have a factory that is being built at the moment, and this is what we're talking about pertaining to land certification, land title issues in low-income countries. We have gathered all the instruments that we need pretty much to build that factory, because we want to process most of these agricultural products. What has been happening is that we have a land issue at the moment, because the land was meant to be for family, and other people from another family has come forward and say that it's their land as well. So now we're kind of like in a little conflict. So this is why it's so important to have this kind of system, to be able to check everything through to ensure that when you acquire land, that you're doing it the right way, and that you're not going to end up with nothing at the end. So basically, the factory is in the process of being built so that we can conduct these, not only the exchange services, but also to export the transformed products which we're sending. We're using the recycled plastic and glass, as I was telling you about, which is a huge issue in Haiti. We're working with partners that are recycling renewable plastic in order to make containers, to make bottles, to make all the packaging that is needed to put these products into it. So we use that, and we transport them at the community level, at the international level, national, and also at the local level. So basically, I'm just going to jump here to what we've been doing, just the next steps. So what we've been doing so far, we've actually been working on the blockchain system. Our technician is still working on this. And so it's being implemented. And the things that we've done already, all the evaluations, the needs assessment, prioritization, and all of that. So the next step at which we're at right now is to help provide those technical supports that are needed by all these groups of farmers. Now, you can imagine that those needs are quite wide and grand. So we're prioritizing right now irrigation systems. And the reason why we're doing irrigation system first is because a lot of those farms depend upon rain, to grow their crops. So that means they get less crops and less productivity. So we're prioritizing right now our irrigation system. So we're doing a lot of follow-up meetings, meeting them a lot. There's pictures I can show you, but I guess I'll have to put them afterwards while we're eating or something. And to show the people that we've been meeting with and implementing these strategies. So that's pretty much it, really, for the network. So if you have any questions, because I know I skipped quite a lot, so if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Thank you.
Questions?
How do you contact these people and explain your digital? I know a great thing about Leapfrog technology is that in developing markets, people actually have the mind to be able to jump from even if they don't know how to read and write, they can skip and understand mobile, smart technology and smartphones and so on. I know a lot of education also is based on this. However, you know, if somebody from your organization goes to a farmer and says, hey, you can sell your land through my program or my technology, what have you encountered? What difficulties have you encountered, or how do you do it?
Well, I have to tell you that because I couldn't show you the interfaces right now, the interfaces that we're showing now, but how we're doing this really is through meeting with them in groups. So all associations I talked to you about, the 38 of them, we've been meeting them personally. So we're actually making meetings with each of them, and we're training them and teaching them what we're about and what their network is about. So when we're explaining that to them, we use very simplified terms. We don't use the high technology terms like ledger and this and that. We don't do that at all. We actually use terms that they're comfortable with, such as in Haiti right now, they're using a system which is called Digicel, and it is Mocash. This is a system that they're using. So we use kind of like an example as an adaptation of Mocash to explain to them how it works. So to be honest with you, I think that first the connection, the trust has to be built between us and these communities, and this is what's been happening over this year. Because we started this network since February of this year. And they've been getting used to seeing us over and over. It's important to keep the communication going with those communities and to involve them and to make them feel that they get ownership of these, activities. It's not just us coming and offering something, but it's them being part of this whole, this whole movement, you could say. And the way they see it is that we always show them how beneficial it would be to them, to their current situation. This is what we show them. So we always go from A to Z to see what happens if you use this technology. But when they see the positive aspects to it, they all take it. So far, we have an uptake with this 28 association that I say, 100%. Everybody wants to jump into it. To be honest with you, it reflects not them moving fast enough. Because they're just so wanting, they're calling us all the time, they're like, what's next, what's happening, So it's the way that we approach them and the way that we understand the local issues as well. It's not just about going and just saying, oh, this is a new technology and you just go in there and get it, but you need to show that you understand the local issues and that you have a solution for how we address it.
Trust, personal relationship.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's really a great project. Where is your funding coming from? And that's my first question. And the second question is, how can you guarantee continuity? Because you're giving them hope, and then maybe the funds run out or whatever. So
like I was mentioning, earlier on, the factory is there for a reason. This factory is a continual commerce activity. It's going to be a business activity that's going to be continuing nonstop. So when we have all these, I'm going to show you that page I had before. Okay. So when I mentioned here, like the service providers, the buyers, donors, and all of these are people that actually help sustain the system on a long-term basis. So it's not from one source. So it's not funds coming from one source. It's coming in the product itself, in cash money, in donations, in many different forms. So that helps this diversity helps to sustain the activities. But what helps it even more sustain the activities is really the factory. Because there's a lot of transformation of products, of agricultural products in Haiti. It's like back in the 1980s, it was very different, and Haiti was known for a lot of its activities and all agriculturally speaking. But afterwards, it's been kind of like a backlog. There's been a reduction in the productivity levels due to the environment, obviously, situation, which is like degrading, and also because of erosion, because of labeling, lacks that we have pertaining to also certification system. Because now when we want to do most of the foods that we are dealing with in Haiti, but especially the agricultural products we're dealing with are all bio. They're all bio, but because they want to be on an international level, to prove this, you need to have a certification level which is at, the local level. So it's always, there's always a challenge, to get people to adapt to these, but we should, like I said, through this training and all, it helps them move forward towards that direction. Did I answer your question? But tell me, is there a part of it that I did not miss? Please tell me.
I just want to wonder about the continuity because, it's a great project and, I hope the factory can last a long time. And how long are you going to be there? I mean, after the funds run out?
No, there's no funds running out. That's what I just said, because the factory makes, it's like, how can I say this? The factory has its own activities, and the percentage of it is to reinvest in its communities. So it keeps going. It's not something that is just, well, we got funds and then it's finished, right? It's something, it's productivity that keeps going at the international level, at the local level all the time. So this market activities are continuous. They're not just dependent on, it's not a project. It's something that is there to stay, basically. And even though, let's say I will not be there anymore, but I know I will, but let's say I was not anymore, I'm severe or something, it is self-sustainable. It is totally self-sustainable. And this is why we ensure to include every single association and farmers to ensure that they know that they are the motor, like I can see here, the central core of the system. This is how we ensure that by making sure they know they are it, basically. Without them, there's nothing.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you so much.